what was your first encounter with Death Row?
Source Awards, 1999 Source Awards. Man, you gotta realize that was at the end of an era. 3 years prior, Tupac and Biggie was killed in LA. And we were on the turf in LA during the whole East Coast, West Coast beef between New York and LA and between Death Row and Bad Boy. And M had inherited Dr. Dre's beef by signing with Dre. M was now the prodigy of Dr. Dre. Dre left Death Row. Suge didn't like that. Dre getting back on. Got this white rapper that's ended up being the best rapper in the fucking world. Suge had a problem with it. He was like, you know what? That kid need to be with us over at Death Row. And that's how it began. We really didn't, honestly, we didn't see that coming, man. Because it was like, okay, if Eminem's a white kid, nobody looking for him. He ain't got nothing to do with the beef. Right. From Detroit. That shit with Dre and Suge, that's your shit. That's how everybody looked at it, including myself. So when Death Row approached M at the 1999 Source Awards, the way they had it set up, the bodyguards could not sit with their artists. You had to stand off to the side. But the way they had it set up, they strategically had certain people sit with certain people, knowing that it might be a beef or not be a beef. You would think they were sitting on different sides of the auditorium, but they didn't.
Right.
So M was walking to his seat. I'm standing off to the side. And M was cut off on his way to his seat. And all these guys in red shirts surrounded him. And I'm looking at M's face and I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, shit, something ain't right. So I started making my way around to come up the aisle. And next thing I know, you see all these guys talking about Death Row, motherfucker, Death Row. Death Row, motherfucker, Death Row. So by this time, I cut in. I step in front of M. I push the guys back. I'm like, yo, what the fuck going on here, man? He said, Death Row, motherfucker. This Death Row about. This Death Row life. I was like, Death Row, what does it got to do with him? He said, hey, man, Suge sent him a message. I was like, oh, shit. We in the middle of this Dre and Suge shit. So I got him up out of there, took him backstage. So now, backstage, I'm calling Dre's bodyguards. I called Dre and look, man, we got a serious issue, man. Death Row is here and they trying to fight. They trying to do whatever they gonna do. We ain't having it. So I got him backstage. I went through the source security. They got us backstage. So now we backstage because I don't know who's who. I'm from Detroit. I ain't thinking about no red and blue. I'm thinking about anybody that's going to get within that 3-foot space, look like they about to do something. I'm dropping your ass. I'm dropping you.
Well, so
I don't give a damn about no red or blue.
You're on serious alert at that point.
Dude, at that point, it was high alert. Yeah. It was high alert. So when I called Dre and his people, let them know what was going on. At that point, Dre had already did his presentation. Him and his people, they got out of there. So it was just me and M. Basically, I had M in a corner, and I was standing here. Now, mind you, I was about 75 pounds heavier, a lot more solid. So you couldn't even see him behind me. So the whole time, I'm on knockout mode or breakneck mode. You know, I'm more dangerous with my hands than I am with a gun. So you couldn't even come up without possibly getting injured. So Eminem ended up doing, when he got his opportunity, he ended up doing his presentation. Matter of fact, he handed the award to DMX. And then after that, we got out of there. We called the limo. This is where it gets fucked up. We called the limo. Death Row is still sitting out there waiting for us. Call the limo, tell the limo, pull up. We'll be out in 5 minutes. The limo pulls up. We're trying to get to the seat of the crowd. We're coming out. The limo's pulling off as we're coming out. Death Row's behind us. So I'm like, shit. And so I told him, I said, man, whatever you do, paparazzi is out here. Take many autographs. Do many autographs you can. Do all the interviews that you can. I said, because these dudes are not going to do nothing to you while you're on camera. So if you go back and you look at the old footage, as he's doing interviews and autographs, you'll see him, and then you'll see the middle of my back. We're like back to back.
Oh, there's footage of this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're back to back to make sure that nobody do nothing. Then eventually the limo came back around. We all get in the car. We pull off. We get out of there. Man.
What was Eminem saying during all this?
He was like, man,
shit.
It was like, this motherfucker's trying to kill us, man. What they trying to do? What do they want? I don't understand. What do they want? I say, hey, man, they want you to sign with them instead of being with Dre. But of course,
you guys knew that at the time?
No, that's when we found out that day. They told us that.
With all this stuff going on, were you worried that Eminem was going to die on your watch?
Shit, man, we were all worried, man, that something can happen to us on our watch, man. You got to understand something. I was under a lot of pressure, man. 3 years prior, Pac was killed. Biggie was killed. M could not die on my fucking watch, man. I don't give a damn what the other bodyguards have done after me. Had I not did my job, those bodyguards would be unemployed. And the one thing that I want to say that probably irritates me the most is that I'm not looking for no attaboys or credit, man, but people don't realize my contribution to hip-hop. I kept this fucking dude alive, man, in the worst part of hip-hop. The worst part. 96, Pac was killed. Right after that, a few months later, Biggie was killed.
Jam Master Jay was killed not too long after that.
And then I got Eminem in the middle of the most notorious beef in hip-hop between three labels, between Suge and Dre and Suge and Puffy. So it was a duality of beef going on at the same time during the time I was protecting this guy. Right. I had to be able to outthink what the opposition was doing at all times, man. Because I didn't know what their intentions were. You know? I kept this guy alive, man. I did my job, man. Everything ain't always about shooting somebody or killing somebody. My strategy, man, I was strategic. Some of your most successful military generals, man, it's about strategy. You attack from the weak side. You hit them in the flank. You hit them up front. You lead them down a valley. You attack from up top. You're talking about art of war. That's everything I did to keep this guy alive, man. But nobody really recognizes that. I mean, I'm not looking for a day on Black History Month or no shit like that, but I'm just saying, look at what I did. Because if I didn't do my job, y'all wouldn't have this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to pull your gun on anybody?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything you can talk about?
I will talk about one in particular. This is actually kind of funny. To me it is, anyway. I was back home in Detroit, and I pull up to a gas station. And I got my family in the car. And I'm getting a full tank of gas, and I'm pumping gas. And this white guy, gets out of his car on the opposite side of the pump. He says, "Hey, I mean, you the motherfucker that wrote the book, Shady Bizzness?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, man, I got something for you, dog." So he opens up his car door. He reaches under his seat. I pull my 40 cal out. The guy reaches under the seat, and he turned around real quick. He said, "Hey, man, I want you to sign my book." I said, "Hey, man, you almost got shot, man." I said, "Who you want me to make that out to?"
Oh,
so shit. I signed it, man. But he was real aggressive in his actions, man. But in the line of duty, as a bodyguard, you're hired to protect people. I will say this though. I've been certified by at least 3 different states, man. I was certified here in the state of California as a PPO. I went through the first 8 weeks. I was only civilian in the California Highway Patrolman Academy. I'm not a police officer, but I went through the first 8 weeks of some of the training off-site. At that time, I was able to carry in 44 different states, super high police security clearance, super high security clearance. So I'm above the normal civilian, but in some ranks I can do some stuff that police officers can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that being said, to answer your question, man, anytime you pull your weapon, you have to be mindful of all the laws, rules, and regulations, and you have to be in the right. You have to be in the right. And anything that comes down, it has to come down to self-defense. And all those stories can be seen and read in this book, Shady Bizzness.